Hello and welcome to AJCAD's webinar, Holes in Structures for MEP Elements Free BIM Workflows. At the very beginning of this webinar, I want to ask you to raise your hands if you can hear me and if you can see my screen that is casting right now. So you can do that in the GoToWebinar dialog block on the right side of your monitor. So while we are waiting for your raised hands, I just want to thank all of you for attending this webinar, and as I see, it is really interesting for you because we have really big amount of attendees today. So thank you very much for raising your hands, and that I can understand that you can hear me and see my screen. So just some information for you. If you will have any kind of questions, you can write all the questions in the GoToWebinar dialog block and into the to the questions tab. And in the end of the webinar, I will try to answer all of them. And if you will have really huge questions, like only based on your experience, we will make a short meeting with you afterwards, or just we will write to you some emails. So I am looking forward for your questions. And today with you, here I am, Jakubas Vaishvila. For English talking people, I'm Jacob. I'm MEP Engineer and BIM Application Engineer here in AJCAD. And shortly about our company. So the company operating since 1988, and what we do, we develop BIM software and add-ons that are compatible with Autodesk Revit, and we have customers all over the world. So we create the solutions for continuously BIM acceleration based on the experience of the most advanced users. So you can be the user that can help us to build a new one or to upgrade the current BIM software. So the main thing what we are doing here, we help make it easier to bring BIM to life by eliminating tasks that do not create value. So what we're doing, I have a simple picture over there that I found on the internet just a few minutes before. So I imagine that if I use CAD software, so I will work like this. I will push the rectangulars, and it will be hard for me, and etc. If I use BIM, so I cut the edges and I rotate my bubble towards towards the finish. But the last and the funniest thing that I want to mention, that AJCAD is looking for the places where we can cut the edges out of the BIM and make better BIM, better software, like to increase your productivity, etc., etc. So during this webinar, I will explain 3 different workflows, 3 different topics that are relevant for structural engineers, MEP engineers, and architects. So the first workflow will be very easy, the workflow to cut holes in a simple Revit file. During this workflow, I will describe you all the configurations, etc. The second workflow will be forwarded to the cutting holes in Linked Revit File. So I will show you both ways: architectural linked into MEP or MEP linked into architectural file. So, and the last one, the last workflow will be to cut holes for IFC MEP elements. So today we will speak only about one solution. The solution is named Cut Opening. It is integrated design and creation of holes. So the cut opening defines and reserves spaces in Revit models for ducts, pipes, cable trays, and conduit. That means for all MEP line-based objects. As well, it could insert those openings where MEP line-based elements are clashing with structural or architectural elements like walls, floors, roofs, ceilings, beams, and columns. So today I will use only ducts and walls just as short example, but just imagine that all the categories are working really perfectly here. So the structural engineers and architects can review and revise and create the approved holes with a click. So I will show that as well. And the cut opening, suitable openings are designed automatically based on the location and type of clashes, detecting for MEP elements in current linked or IFC file as I described to you before. So I don't want to speak about the solution more literally, so I'm just jumping to my Revit file, and here you can see a really little project with some ducts and some walls that I will be working on it today. So the cut opening is the solution that works with integrated interference check inside of Revit. So you can be sure that all the clashes will be detected correctly. So at the very beginning, before starting the work, we have to run the interference check in between two different categories. So in my way, I will use walls to find the clashes in between walls and the ducts. So I'm running the interference check. I'm exporting that, for example, on my desktop, and I'm taking the name of the file regular. So I'm saving that. The next step, what we have to do is to go and to do some configurations on our for our openings, for the future openings. So here you can find MEP opening configuration. So you will have some markings, shape parameters, elevation calculations, etc. You will be able to use different insulation thicknesses and different offsets in accordance to the insulation thicknesses. And here you can find different tabs like cutoff sets, joining openings, and interference check. So here in the rectangular ducts tab, you can find here all the line-based elements. Here you can find rectangular, round duct, oval duct, all the pipe types, all the pipe categories or classifications, as well as the cable trays and conduits for electrical systems. So I will speak about rectangular duct. Here at the very beginning, you can find how you will introduce your element, the marking of your element, minimum width and height, as well the elevation calculation. It could be like calculated from the bottom to the bottom of the opening to the center of the opening or to the top of the opening. As well, you can choose from 3 different elevation calculation systems. That means you can choose to calculate the elevation from the level, you can choose to calculate elevation from the project 0 point, or to calculate the global 0 point using the shared parameter over there. So I will let it be to the level, and center let it be. As well, here you can find the cut offset. So I usually describe this like this. So for the elements that are from 0 to 2 meters and 40 centimeters width or height, you can choose it here, height, width, or both. You will use one cut offset. As well, you can add additional top offset as described in this picture, or bottom offset that described in this picture as well. So it could be easier to understand if I will move to the pipes. So for example, if you have the pipe from 0 to 25, you will use the cut offset of 200 millimeters. If you will have 25 to 50, you will use 250. If you will have 50, 80, you will use such cut offset. As well, here you will be able to choose the opening shape. That means if you will work with round ducts, you will be able to place rectangular openings or round openings. It doesn't matter. As well, talking about the pipes, we have the openings for nominal or outer diameter. So you will be able to choose one of these two possibilities. So I'm going back to rectangular elements. If I will go to join openings, I will get new table. It looks kind of the same. Like I have from to. After the openings will be joined, I have the shape of the opening. As well, I can ask to join my openings, then the distance in between those two openings are not bigger than 50 millimeters. Or you can write your own and create your own like 200 of millimeters. As well, we have interference check. So that means if I have, for example, wall-mounted diffuser, my duct do not cross the wall fully, but it has only partial interference. And this checkbox means if I will untick this checkbox, that means I will cut openings in such situation, and if I will tick this checkbox, I will never cut the openings in such situation. Then my duct or pipe or something will not fully cross the wall. So everything could be saved. Okay, I will duplicate and I will name it by today's date. 03 morning. So you can save your own configurations. You can create a lot of configurations for different workflows, for different projects as you wish. As well, you can place your configurations, or I don't know, somewhere on a server that your colleagues could reach that configuration really easily and fast. So here you can set the place where your configurations files will be saved, and just all your colleagues will be using the same file. But today I will use this one. So I made my configurations. I'm clicking OK, and I ran the interference check. So now I can go and insert the openings. So I'm reading the interference check data from HTML file that was saved on my desktop. I'm opening it, and I will use the configuration as described here. So I'm using that configuration that I just saved before several seconds. So I'm clicking next, and I have all the things over there. So it is automatically inserting the cutoff sets. It automatically finds the system classifications. If you will have insulations, it will find insulations as well, and it will sum up the insulation and cutoff set, etc., etc. After you will check everything, you can export everything to Excel, for example, for future review or something like this, or you can save XML file, regular XML file. So I'm saving that on my desktop again, and I'm closing this window. Okay, I'm getting back to Revit. The next step is to insert the openings. So I'm using insert modify MEP openings, and I'm using that XML file that consists of all offsets, opening shapes, etc. So I'm opening it, and something similar will be shown as you saw the read interference check data, but here it's just a confirmation. So if you want, you can like turn off hosts, you can change the offset, you can filtrate here round ducts or rectangular ducts. If it's needed, you can group everything by walls. Okay, I have basic wall and generic, etc. So if I will have a lot of walls and I will need only openings for some of walls, I can choose here and filtrate my needed information over there. So after this is done, we can insert insert and modify openings. Like I'm doing this, I'm inserting the openings, auto joining the openings, and I have 14 openings inserted and 2 openings were joined. So I'm clicking OK, and I'm getting back to my Revit. I'm closing this dialog, and let's check what's happened there. I have the openings all around my building. I have auto joined elements over there, and over there I have one opening here, just rectangular one, the round ones, etc. So this is really nice thing. If you want, you can tag those openings. You can take the opening, and it consists of a lot of different information. It has opening mark, D stands for ducts, I don't know, PO stands for pipe hour, CT stands for cable tray, etc. As well, it has opening shape. It could be rectangular or it could be the round one. As well, it has the opening elevation that was calculated in accordance to level and the midpoint of the opening. So these openings could be tagged really easily. So I will try to take this. So I do not have loaded family. So I will go over there to get opening new. Okay, I have a tag over there. So I'm taking it and I'm tagging. So as you can see, I have the elevation over there, opening elevation and opening area. Those parameters just came from my shared parameter file that is given together with a cut opening solution. So I'm taking one more parameter. For example, it's text parameter. I'm bringing it there, I'm breaking everything, and I'm loading it back to my project. So as you can see, I have RD parameter that came from here. It's round duct. I have area, so area is over there. Only I think the units are too small. Yeah, so I have the area of my opening, as well I have the marking of my opening. So if you will need some parameters, you can add the shared parameters to the file, to the family, and that family will consist that. So the family as well, it has some graphical representation from the front or from the side views. So you can choose how you would like to see everything. So if I will go from the mechanical to the coordination view, you can see that I have black elements. So not black, but black and white elements. So I have filled region parameter inside. That filled region will fulfill a part of my openings, and then they will be visible like this. As well, you can change the colors or something if it's needed. As you can see here, it's kind of the same. Yeah. An opening mark is missing because I have two different, like supply and return, round and etc. So this is the workflow for such file. If somebody will do some changes for the file, like if somebody will move your MEP elements, you will see everything in MEP opening revision. If you will go there, we have change position, we update the model, we have one updated element, and I'm closing that, and the opening pops back to the position it needs to be. As well, sometimes people need to auto join the openings. I don't know, I will move it over there. I will go to MEP opening revision again. I will update the model. Okay, what's going on? And I have two openings over there. Let's move to the 3D view. I have two openings and I want to auto join them. So I'm clicking on one, on the second. Okay, I will take them like this. One and second. And I'm using join and join openings. And the opening right now is bigger, like it is joined. It changed the family. Before we had something like round opening family, and we changed the family to the rectangular one. So I have rectangular face opening. So this is really nice. Just we have some limitations of the width and height parameters because it's not very smart to make too big openings. So we made some limitations not to make those openings too big. So this is how you can work in a regular way. Then you have MEP objects and architectural or structural objects in the same file. If you will have something different, if you will have, I will open the file where I have architectural, only architectural model. So I'm opening it. So this is the model, architectural walls, and I'm linking the Revit file that consists of ventilation. So I'm opening it as well. And as you can see, I have link over there and the regular Revit files. So the workflow looks kind of the same. I'm going to calibrate tab, I'm running the interference check, I'm running from the current project, and I'm running from the ventilation project that is linked, and I'm using those ducts. So I'm running the file, I'm exporting architectural with, okay, on the desktop, with linked MEP. So I'm saving that. I'm closing this. I'm going to read. So I won't go to configurations again because I told you everything about that, and I'm waiting for some calculations inside. I'm clicking next. I have some. Okay, I'm browsing again. Okay, I'm clicking next and I have such dialog. I'm saving that as linked MEP. Okay, I have successfully saved. I'm closing this. And right now I'm going to insert everything to the model. I have this file. I'm clicking next and I'm inserting everything. How to join openings. Okay. Close this window and let's check. Yes, we have the openings in the architectural model. Then the MEP model is linked inside of our architecture. So that's the workflow. So the only difference is that you have to run the current project and the linked project interference check. Then you have real architectural model. The third way is then you have ventilation part. Then you have ventilation part and you have linked architectural part. So I linked the architectural model inside of MEP model. So the workflow will be a little bit different. So I'm going to calibrate tab. I'm going to read the interference check in between ducts in the current project and in between architectural walls from the architectural Revit file. I'm running the interference check, I'm exporting everything, and I'm saying that it's ventilation linked arch. So I'm saving that. I have to read that interference because I need to, I have to see I have to see all these elements in this file, so I'm browsing architectural ventilation length of R. Okay, I'm saving, and MEP linked R. I'm closing this. So I exported everything to XML file, but if I will try to insert elements with that MEP linked R file, I will fail. Like, I will try to insert, and it will say that omitted openings from linked file 14. I have 14 elements. It knows that I have 14 elements, but it cannot insert the openings into the Revit file that is linked. So what is the workflow? The workflow is such: you should go to architectural model that was linked, and you have to insert openings right now. So that's the way you have to work. Like you have to run the interference, then you have two files, and insert openings only in the architectural model, because the architectural model can host those openings. Like, if you do not have hosting elements like walls, we cannot insert the openings that should be hosted, like you have the host category basic wall. So this is the workflow, how you have to do. So I'm saving this. Okay, let's just save as architectural. I'm closing this file. I'm opening the ventilation part. And for example, somebody from the ventilation part will do some changes. As you can see, I have the openings over there. All the openings from the architectural model. But MEP guys, for some reasons, will move the element here. So he will save the file, and after opening architectural model, you will think, oh, I need to update something. So you will go to MEP openings revision, but you won't see any of ducts over there. So you will see the notification that everything were deleted. So you have to go to the insert, link Revit, and link that ventilation model. I'm opening that, and right now you can see that we have the duct moved out of the hole. So right now, if you will go to MEP, no openings are inserted. Okay, I'm linking the same. Okay, so you have to rerun everything, and this won't work for some reason. Okay, so that's the way you have to create. That's the way you have to create your links with the architectural and ventilation part. I will delete the openings from here. I will filtrate. The openings are like generic models. I'm deleting them, and I'm saving that as the architectural model. And right now, I will have the third workflow, the workflow for IFC files. So here in our country, we have a lot of struggles about IFC files because a lot of different softwares are used here to make one project. Like, not everybody using Revit, but somebody is using MagicCAD, AutoCAD, MEP, 3D, DDS-CAD, I don't know, a lot of different softwares. So we decided to make the cut opening compatible with all those software. So how do we do that? If I will try to go to architectural model and I will try to insert and link IFC file that I have, ventilation IFC, I'm opening that. So it will be placed over there just after some seconds. Yeah, so I have IFC file, as you can see. Is IFC from the geometry, you can notice that. And if I will go to interference check, I will go to ventilation IFC and I will run two different projects. Yes, if the IFC was made in Revit, you will find those clashes. But if the IFC will come from different software, you will never find those clashes over there. Okay, I will export everything and I will write that IFC. I'm saving. I'm going to read that IFC file. But the cut opening can't identify the real ducts, pipes, cable trays and conduits because they are not real regular Revit elements. So the workflow should be such. I will unlink this one. I will delete just simply. I will remove link and I will go to open the IFC file from here. I have the IFC file. I'm opening it. That will take some time if the project will be bigger, but in my case it's really fast. I have the IFC elements. They have the IFC guide numbers, etc. Everything what is needed for IFC, and I'm saving that as a new project. Ventilation IFC opened with Revit. So I'm saving that. And right now I'm closing everything. I'm going here and I'm going to insert to link the file, but now I won't do link IFC. I will do link Revit and I will use that IFC open with Revit. So right now the software will understand everything, where the openings should be, what should be the size of the openings, etc. And right now I have to run that interference check in between walls and ventilation part. I'm clicking that, I'm exporting on the desktop, IFC, save. Okay, and I'm going to read that file. Again, the same workflow, just some interesting things, like you have to open the IFC and then you have to link everything into your model. Again, what we have, the same box. You can change the offsets if it's needed, etc. and save XML as IFC XML. I'm saving that and I have the file saved, and I'm going to insert my openings using that IFC thing. I'm opening, I'm clicking next, and I'm inserting openings. I'm closing. So what do I have? I have the openings for IFC elements all over the building. So this is really nice workflow in such a case. Then you have then you have IFC file. So this is kinda all what I want to say to you today. Just a few sentences about us, about our solutions. So basically we are we have the widest range of application for Revit worldwide, as I know. So we have a lot of engineering tools. We have that cut opening that you have seen just few minutes before. We have little add-ons that can increase your work productivity. We have assemblies for structural engineers that can create assemblies by some rules. We have wood and metal framings like rafter, trusses, walls, floors, and roofs. We have smart browser for browsing the libraries outside of Revit project. We have some sustainable design for European countries that is working on ISO standard, on DIN standard for Germany, and our standards. So we have one more thing, that is BIM tree manager, that you can manage all your elements inside of the project. You can add parameters, delete parameters, etc., etc. A lot of different stuff could be done here. And one shortcut to all our tools, to all updates, and to all our trials and more could be done with a Tools for BIM doc. So you can download this presentation from the handouts, and you will find some links. It is linked to download that thing. So you will get 14 days trial, and you will be able to download and to use any of these tools. So as well, you can visit our aga-cad.com website to download Tools for BIM doc. And I just want to say thank you. I see that we have finished several minutes earlier than I thought. So we have a lot of time for questions and answers. So right now it's Q&A part, and I'm waiting for your questions just in the GoToWebinar dialog. Okay, I see some questions. Okay, Kirsten is asking. I'm not sure. Is the question, or it's just a state? Like, since you're working with XML files, I guess it is possible to work with linked files where the MEP file and architectural file are separated. Yes, as I showed to you, it is possible to work when you have linked models both ways. It could be MEP model linked into architectural, or architectural into the MEP. Kuba is asking, is it possible to cut beam element? Yes, it is possible. It is possible to cut beams and columns from the structural part, like walls, floors, roofs, ceilings, beams, and and columns. Yeah, so I don't have any wall here in the project, but yes, it is possible. Sandra is asking, how can I check if the position of the hole is okay? Is there a possibility to show before I place the holes? Sandra, you can, I don't know, you cannot see the inserted elements before you insert them. So just one thing, you have to insert, and if it's not good, you can delete that element, and you can run the MEP revision, and you will see some deleted elements. But as well, you can move your holes. I can't find. Yeah, you can move your holes in a way you need. You can change the offset values. Like it can become bigger, smaller, so you can adjust everything manually as well. Right now we are going to build a new possibility to export current situation. So for example, you will make openings, you will move everything and then export the opening shape, opening width, height, etc., and opening position, and send that XML file to, I don't know, to the architect or to the structural engineer. So that's, I'm talking from the MEP engineer side. So MEP engineer is looking for the clashes, it is defining the offsets, it is placing the openings, it is moving them left, right, I don't know, it is doing some changes. Afterwards it is exporting everything and sending to architect. An architect is inserting all the openings with all the changes. So that will be done after, I don't know, 2 weeks or 1 month. We will be ready to present this new feature for you guys. Okay, let's go further. Sandro is asking, do you need to use the generic model families as used in this webinar, or can I use my own families? Basically, we are creating really detailed families. So those families has a lot of parameters. I will go inside of it. First of all, I want to mention that those families has graphical representation from the top and from the left, right, front or back. So the graphical representation is here as well. We have a lot of parameters that are working together with the software. So it is strictly recommended to work with our family, not with your own, because we have a lot of we did a lot of work for rotation, for example, for slopes. If you will make a sloped pipe, if you will have a sloped roof, if you will have a sloped ceiling or something. So we have a lot of parameters like sloped, rotated, height, width, etc. That is working only with our program, with our software. So it will be very hard to build something like this by your own. Anders is asking, we normally have individual model for electrical HVP ventilation disciplines handled by the same company but individual models. We need to create openings in structural models where multiple disciplines of MEP needs to share the same opening. Assume joined openings will not work than having individual MEP models. Is above the case, or is the possible using your software? So as I showed a little example with join unjoin openings, you can place the openings from different disciplines, from different files, and afterwards just go through the parts where you need to join those openings, like where you need to have multidisciplinary opening, you can join that. So that's the solution. Just go manually and join openings. Patrick is speaking. Is asking, so since MagiCAD is a strong MEP app in Sweden, do you know if MagiCAD Revit files or IFC exported from MagiCAD and on AJCAD will work with Revit interference checking? Thanks, Patrick, for the question. I just tested MagiCAD a few weeks ago. So the same way as I showed you, you have to open MagiCAD file in Revit and link that file into your structural model, and it is working perfectly. Thanks again for the question. Ben is talking. So great presentation, Jacob. Ben, thank you. Really useful tool that has developed uh, a lot over the last few years since I last reviewed it. So yes, we have been working on it hardly. So we have really great success. Um, Lorna is asking, can we use that for lower version, like 2014 or 2015? So 2015, yes, we have the same version for 2015, but for 2014 we have a little bit different software. I can I can show you just quickly. We have cut opening new, that is brand new, just half of the year, and we have the old version that will work with 2014. So the difference is that in configurations, we had only such amount of configurations, auto join or not to join, distance in between elements, include intersection or not include intersection, and minimum opening size. And right now, as you saw, we had really big amount of different configurations in accordance to the sizes of elements, in accordance to um, insulation thicknesses, as etc. So if this one will fit your needs, and I hope that it will, you can use it for 2014 version. I'm going further. Kristen is asking, one more question. For Germany, the MEP engineer has to provide the opening, so MEP engineer can provide the XML file. Yes, Kristen, the MEP engineer will provide the XML file, and the architect will get that XML file, and he will insert openings in accordance to that XML file. It is easy to share that file with your colleagues. Romance is asking, I have a question. Do the families for opening have the elevation parameters structural engineers ask to show? Yes, they have the elevation parameter, and you can define how it should be calculated. Like it has opening elevation, but going to the configurations, you can define how you want to calculate it. How you want to calculate it from the level, project or shared, like 0 level, 0 project, or 0 global, altitude, as well as the position of the opening, bottom, center, or top. And after the insertion, that will be calculated in this parameter. And this parameter is shared. Ben is asking, is it possible for an architectural user to load in the XML file to make the cuts without having the tool installed? No, it's not possible. You have to have the tool to use that XML file. Ben is continuing the question. So if I was the MEP engineer, I would send them my XML file, but they would also need cut opening installed to be able to do it. So in reality, I would have to update their model if they didn't have the tool. Yes. So you have to ask them to, I don't know, to give to give you the walls. If you're working with a central model, you have to ask them to give the walls to you, and you will be able to insert the openings into the walls then. Lars is asking, do you support windows and doors opening in structural model? Thank you, Lars, for the question. Today's meeting, today's webinar wasn't about the structural structural cases, but yes, it supports, and I'm looking for yeah, I have one. Yeah, okay, so I have the structural walls over there, and I have the architectural linked into my model. So I have two different walls, and I'm going to use the tool to insert openings for the structural part in accordance to the architectural part. So I'm going to insert structural openings. I'm clicking OK. I'm creating the window type. I'm clicking OK. Do I want to continue? No. And as you can see, I have the opening at the same place where my window was placed in the architectural model. So this is the workflow, really easy workflow to replace the openings from arch to struct. Okay, Romance is saying that the round openings need to show elevation from center and rectangular openings from bottom. It's easy. We have different configuration. Rectangular opening from bottom, round one from the center. That is all. Lorna is asking, can we use that for lower version of Revit 2014 and 15? You can use for 15 the same version and a little bit different version for 2014. Calvin is asking, what is if were some ventilation accessories like fire damper, is the holes then in the right dimensions? Like we are making openings only for line-based elements, for ducts, pipes, cable trays and conduits, and if you will have fire damper installed into the building, it won't work. Like you have to have a line-based element. But the workflow could be such. You can make the openings first, and then using our insert fire damper functionality, you can insert the fire dampers by mapped walls. So you can map the walls. For example, you have the walls with some fire rating, and you can ask it to add some rectangular accessory. It's automated. You will be able to review that. Okay, I will cad.com. So I don't want to reload the files, but I will go into our web page, insert fire dampers. Yeah, so that is video where you can find how to insert fire dampers. So first, so we have walls, we have some fire ratings, we have wall types. I'm mapping the wall types with some fire dampers, or let's say duct accessories, from the families in the project, and I'm inserting that into the model. So now I have inserted duct accessories. Yeah, as you can see, I have the fire dampers in this case. So I suggest you to cut openings first, and then to insert that fire dampers. Right now we're working on sleeves to place the sleeves for pipes in the same way as the fire dampers. Melina is asking if the openings are joined, can we process the work back? Yes, using the same functionality. I don't know. I will move it. I will try to auto join those two openings. One second, I'm using join. Okay, I can't. Different host. But yes, you can join and unjoin the openings. Lorna is asking, can opening apply in multiple level? Sorry, I don't catch your drift a little bit. Dan is asking, if the pipe is cutting through an element at the angle rather than cutting through straight 90 degrees, I will create an angled hole or straight hole. So the hole will be perpendicular to the wall. So I guess it's straight hole. Melina is asking again, if the opening is joined, can they proceed the work back? Yes, it is possible. Kristen is asking, great software, it will take away a lot of similar tasks to get faster to the visual coordination stage to fine-tune the model project. Okay, thank you, Kristen. Ben is asking, can you run this on a particular system or group of ducts rather than every duct in the project? Yes, you can filtrate your elements using this as I showed you before. You can do that. Kristen is asking, is the tool coming the families, tags, and share parameter are the some pre-developed schedules as well? Kristen, the tool has the opening families, as well it has share parameter file. The tag could be created by yourself very easily, as well the schedules, it's very different schedules here in our country and I guess in your country, so you have to build your own. So we are not preparing such stuff, but the families and share parameter files are created. Melina is asking, is there any limitation for creating some amount of openings like 3,000 of elements? No, there is no limitation, but that will take a lot of time if you will go with 3,000 of openings. That could take 15 minutes, 20 minutes, that depends on your workstation. Lorna is asking, if the size of duct was changed, how this changed openings. Right now we're working on such features, so the same way as I moved the duct, it noticed that it was changed. The same way we will do the diameter or width and height changes. Melina is asking, if the created openings at Revit, does the openings are tested and available to be seen after export to Navisworks? Yes, it's regular Revit openings, so it is nicely represented in Navis. Kuba is asking, what about update opening? Then MEP is linked. Is it necessary to delete all openings and do all the steps again? No, it's not. It's not. It's not necessary. You have to link. You have to have both models in one place, and then you have to update everything just using opening revision functionality. Okay, Melina has really long question. If I need to create the openings as per different disciplines, how I can tag the discipline by using your cut opening software, which can create parameter referred to some system parameter like FSP, PLM, drainage. Is it possible to insert the opening types such as BO for beam opening, VO for uh, wall opening, I guess FO for floor opening. Seems only opening mark is not enough for present presenting different types of parameter which will be tagged. Yes, right now we have only like crossing element, MEP element information, duct, pipe, cable tray or something, and we do not have those, um, I don't know, beam opening, wall opening, and floor opening. But Melina, this is a really nice question, and I will take that in mind, and I think that we will make some possibilities to take those parameters. And Kristen, and it's the last question, I think so. So the Kristen is asking, does the tool come in different languages? I think that we have it in Poland, the Polish language, in English and German, I think, but I'm not sure. So English, Polish, and German. I'm sure for those three, but I'm not sure if we have Russian and Flemish. I don't know. Thank you, Patrick, as well for coming to this demo. So thank you everybody for your attendance, and I still I still see a lot of people that are listening to me, and I'm very happy about this because sometimes I'm answering the question just for few people that are interested, and everybody is leaving the webinar. So thank you again for this this great time with you, and I want to wish you a great day today. And I just want you to try the solution by yourself, and we will meet you again in the future. So thank you and goodbye.